Namaste friends. Today we are going to discuss on multi-level governance. What is multi-level governance? Interaction, coordination and participation of various actors, body and sector in governance system along with government is multi-level governance. It is all about reallocation of authority upward, downward and sideways from central state. Informal governance, civil society governance, local governance, cooperative governance, corporate governance, governance of UN, all together form multi-level governance. Here is one multi-level governance framework. In geographical level, governance authority divide in three levels: supranational level, national level and province and local level. While in jurisdiction level, the national level authority influenced by private sector and non-governmental sector. Now let's start with informal governance. The influence and indirect involvement of various actors, body and sector in the governance system other than government is known as informal governance. Formal governance, that is activity carried by government. Informal governance, influence upon the formal decision of government by interest group, media house, donor agency, right group, business tycoon, embassy of friendly nations, academicians and so other. Also, civil society governance, corporate governance, cooperative governance, governance of UN are also falls under the informal governance. But in our federal system, local level governance is a competent formal government. That is why its governance is not informal but formal one. Let's talk about governance of civil society. What is civil society? Civil society refers to non-governmental, not-for-profit, autonomous, independent and voluntary association of citizens. Civil society act as watchdog of government. Civil society can be both organized and disorganized. There are many interest groups, right groups, professional organizations, pressure groups, religious groups, cultural groups, informal groups of eminent persons. This comes in the basket of civil society. What is the strength of civil society of Nepal? They struggle for the democracy. They are working for public awareness. They struggle for the professional rights, influence all three tiers of government. This is the strength. And their weakness is they are blamed for donor-driven, politically motivated, urban-centered, and also capital city Kathmandu center, guided by individual interests. These are the weaknesses of civil society in Nepal. Let's talk about local governance. Local governance is defined as the exercise of economic, political and administrative authority to manage the state's affairs at local level. Village municipality and urban municipality coordinated by district coordination committee is local level in our context. Local level have right to make law, budget, decision, plan and revenue collection under the jurisdiction of Schedule 8 and 9 of our Constitution. In Schedule 8, they are enlisted the power of local level. In Schedule 9 is concurrent jurisdiction of federal, province and local level. What are the strengths of local governance? They can have judicious use of local resources, participatory governance, ownership of people, leadership development, governance closer to the people, planning and project selection according to ground reality. These are the strengths of local governance. Then what are the weaknesses? Inadequate law, ambiguity of jurisdiction, rampant corruption, contradiction with federal and provincial government. The latest example is the decision of Kathmandu metropolitan city not collect garbage from Singhadarbar. Lack of competent human resource to develop scientific law, plan and budget, unplanned and haphazard use of scarce resources. These are the weaknesses of local governance. What is cooperative governance? Let's define cooperative first. Cooperative is an autonomous association of people who voluntarily participate for mutual socio-economic benefit. The values of cooperative are self-help, self-responsibility, democracy, equality, equity, and solidarity. They have 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training and information, cooperation among cooperatives, concern of communities. These are the principles of cooperative. Our constitution recognizes cooperative as one of the 3 pillars of our economy. 3 pillars of our economy is public sector, private sector and cooperative sector. As per 15th plan data, cooperative made 3% contribution in GDP. There are 34,763 primary cooperatives with 6.6 million members. 51% members are women and 40% women are in the board of director of cooperative. From this data, we can infer 2 things. Though cooperative have small contribution in GDP, but they have huge member, 6.6 million members. They have tremendous impact, and 51% women's participation means this can be good instrument of inclusiveness. Strength of the cooperatives is constitutional recognition, governmental promotion, inclusiveness, large coverage, opportunity to utilize saving and credit mobilized in rural area, can make contribution in poverty alleviation. Weaknesses: dual membership, lack of financial good governance, focused more on saving and credit, weak regulation, use as tax shelter. These are the problem of cooperative. Let's talk about corporate governance. Corporate governance refers to broadly to rules, processes or law by which business are operated, regulated and controlled, and its implication in governance. The cooperative governance refers to the influence of private sector upon government. Corporate sector can be solo proprietorship, it can be private company, public company or multinational company. Strength of corporate sector is its involvement in national economy through investment, production, construction, supply, employment generation, international trade and their corporate social responsibility. And weakness is weak corporate culture, weak competitiveness, low investment capability, lack of industrial infrastructure, trade deficit, using malpractices like cartelling, syndicate and black marketing, inadequate attraction of foreign direct investment, procedural complexity, lack of skilled human resource, weak industrial relation, means relation between factory owner and laborers, weak regulatory system. These are the weakness. Last not the least, let's talk about governance of UN. UN established in 1945 after the end of the Second World War. It has 6 organs, 193 members, 15 specialized agencies, various commission, funds and programs. The core function of UN is about collective security, world peace, socio-economic cooperation and human rights protection. Let's talk about Nepal's involvement in UN. Nepal became member of UN in 1955. It is regularly participating in UN General Assembly from 1956. Nepal participated in UN Peacekeeping Mission from 1958. While making this video, Nepal is the second largest contributor in UN Peacekeeping Force. Nepal became non-permanent member of Security Council 2 times. United Nations Mission in Nepal, UNMIN, assist Nepal in peace forces. And Nepal's foreign policy is guided by UN Charter and value of world peace. This is the tremendous impact of UN upon governance in Nepal. And strength of UN is it has nearly universal membership, 193 members. Almost all sovereign countries are member of United Nations. It prevented Third World War, contributed on world peace through peacekeeping mission. It is cooperating with its member country in sustainable development goal and various development activities. It facilitates organized conferences to enact conventions and establish international legal regime, and it has done so many things to protecting human rights. Weakness of United Nations is discriminatory provision of veto power 5 nations. The principle of United Nations is sovereign equality, but those 5 nations are more equal than others. Lack of financial resources tremendously depend on the resources given by powerful countries like US. So it cannot condemn US when it attack Iraq and so many other UN member nations. And under its weaknesses, the UN resolution have non-binding nature. UN is criticized for being talking shop. These are the weakness of United Nations. With this discussion, we found out government of Nepal is not solo actor of governance. There is the influence of United Nations, corporate sector, cooperative sector, informal sector, local body, and so many non-governmental sector, and all together we are exercising multi-level governance. Here comes end of our discussion. Feel free to subscribe my channel. If you want to take part in discussion, feel free to comment in this video. Thank you.